My name is Jesus Sandoval, and I am a 10th grade student at Aikens High School in the New Tech Academy. It took me a lot of work to get where I am with my A's and B's in my AP and pre-AP classes. I don't necessarily enjoy school, but I still try in my classes and do my work at maximum ability. I joined the New Tech Academy because I always had an interest in IT since I was a little kid. I am currently heading down the path of learning digital animation and computer maintenance. I want to go to college and increase my animation skills after high school and then start a small indie game development company. Or I would like to work for Cisco security for big companies. The background was made using Adobe Flash. I used a drawing tablet to do most of this by hand. I used a rectangle tool with a gradient to create the sky. The clouds were made by hand but filled in with the bucket tool. The mountains and the grass were also made by hand, but the mountains were filled by solid color while the grass had a gradient on it. The water was also done like the grass. I made the butterfly as a symbol and hand drew it completely from a reference picture. I used a gradient on the eye of the butterfly and I made both a left and right wing for the butterfly. The explosion was done as a symbol using a reference picture. For the explosion I started off with the base and then I made the vertical part. Finally I made the big cloud at the top and colored the explosion after that. The lightning was made by just quickly sketching some lightning shaped thing and I filled it with another gradient. I used a timeline, motion twins, frames, and keyframes to animate the butterfly flying across the stage and to animate the fluttering wings of the butterfly. The butterfly just used a repeated butterfly in the library to cause the effect of the fluttering wings, and I used a motion preset for the smoke. I used Magix to create music for my animations. I made this animation by drawing 30 differently positioned balls in a sequence by using a light table. The balls in the sequence create the illusion of the ball moving. I scanned the pictures into the computer and just put them together in Premiere to make an animation. I made this animation on my own, following the written rubric given to me. I added transparent objects, an animated symbol, and items using the elements and principles of design. I used Flash to create this design for a t-shirt contest. I drew this animation to practice a hand-drawn flip motion with more than one timing and spacing. For my script for my children's book, we slowly start seeing the galaxy, then we pan to see stars, planets, and galaxies. We keep panning and we see a giant egg that looks like the Death Star. We zoom in and see a potato wearing a Darth Vader mask, with facing a monitor saying incoming attack on it. We zoom back out and see the egg being fired at. The ships continue to fire at the egg until it explodes, and the yolk goes everywhere. I used Photoshop to create this storyboard to help lead and guide me through my children's book animation. For this animation, I used multiple scenes, animated symbols, and audio tracks to create a short, scary animation. I hand drew this animation to practice how clothes moves on an object. I used color keying to create an animation of creatures flying around. I made them do that mostly through Adobe Flash and Adobe Premiere. I used Adobe Flash to make this animation. I used the bone tool to add movement to the horse, and I used a motion preset to make the water splash. For this animation, I was required to make a script and a storyboard. The animation was made completely in Flash, but was edited in Premiere. I used a hand-drawn image to use as a guide as to what the mask would look like. This mask was made for a video game developer to potentially use. I used Premiere to edit together my demo reel and every other project I've done so far. I made this hand-drawn flip animation to practice turning a character. This is the script I made for my independent assignment. I used Word and a professional script layout to make this. I used Photoshop to create the storyboard using the provided template. I created this character in Flash for my independent animation test. I created these backgrounds to help move and explain my animation. I made my independent animation using Flash and Premiere. I made the animation following the storyboard I made. This is a one-day animation test I made using Flash and Premiere. I took the certification test for Adobe Flash on the Certiport website. I used Wix to create this web portfolio of all the work I've done in Flash.